everyone, Thyworm here. Guys, patch 0.9 is looking pretty good. The biggest selling point of the multiplayer patch is, well, multiplayer. Instead though, I played with all my friends, and this video is about everything I discovered besides multiplayer. Because I don't care much for multiplayer, to be honest. I don't play ARPGs with other people typically. Instead, I leveled a necromancer, summoned some NPCs instead of real people by my side, and had fun. I was and am part of the beta invitational event where a few people already got to play an early build of patch 0.9. It had multiplayer, sure, but plenty of other changes too. Good changes, in fact. I'll list what I discovered in this video. If you want access as well to this patch, there's a big event next week, the 10k invitational, where everybody's invited to play this build. I'll link details on how you can sign up in the description. You need to own the game, that's the only prerequisite, but otherwise I strongly suggest you sign up and check it out because a lot has changed. Starting with what used to be a massive elephant in the room, performance. The footage you're seeing is recorded on ultra settings. I'm walking around with a minion army and frame rates are typically 60 FPS at 1440p, running a 2080 and an i7 CPU. I had pretty much zero performance issues. It's a little early maybe, but I'm fairly confident in saying that after almost 4 years, the game actually runs well. That's a massive win and makes playing last Epoch immediately more enjoyable. Another big criticism I and many others had in the past is the combat feel. Wet noodle fights with Coca-Cola tin can sound effects was a rather accurate description of what combat felt like, but not anymore. It's not yet Wilson levels of animations and sound effects, but it's getting there. Sound effects across the board have been overhauled, and many of them sound great. The crossbow skeletons, ice shards, your minion army which is grunting and heaving, the golems that had their aggression factor amped up to 11, and so much more. It's flat out impressive compared to where the game was like a year ago. Yeah, we didn't get any updates, but at least the dev time was well spent, which is worth something too. Next to sound, the animations of many enemies and skills are updated, resulting in that very decent, at least decent combat feel, and I would even say sometimes it's good. For example, the excessive ragdolling was toned down a bit, making it more realistic. And what I personally really liked, enemies that are killed using a certain element die a certain way. So for example, I have a fire minion army here and enemies are scorched when they die and turn to ash or scarred bodies. I noticed similar effects with other damage types. It looks great. This, yet again, adds to the enjoyment of just playing the game. Other animations and artwork that deserve a bit of a shout out are the leveling up animation, which has improved a lot. There are clear indicators now your skills have leveled up, quite nice to see. Other minor changes in artwork include the dialogues, which now have much more detailed art of the NPCs you're talking to. When going through the campaign, because you have to create a new character of course, you'll notice that many areas have yet again been reworked. Some locations are absolutely breathtaking, and playing through the campaign one more time was actually fun because it felt like a new experience. It's a shame of course that feeling will only be there once because environments and map layouts are still static, but at least they're very pretty and help you get immersed into the game. There are more reworks, for example in skills. I noticed that the Summon Skeletal Mage skill tree has had some additional nodes added to it, allowing you to teleport to the location where you summon the mage, turning Summon Mage into a movement skill. This allows you to take more minion skills, for example, which is fun. And I'm sure some stuff got nerfed, but I've mentioned before that I don't care much for balance in an ARPG, I just play whatever I enjoy. Something enjoyable is this. It is just a minor change, but the devs went all out with the shrines. There are, I think, 4 times the number of shrines available compared to the current 0.8.5. And I mean the frequency, right? In the arena nodes alone, you typically have 4 shrines. And you constantly find shrines during the campaign and in the Monolith of Fate as well. They're extra fun if you're a necromancer because the shrine effects also apply to minions now. So a 100% crit shrine or a haste shrine is really strong. There's more new stuff, at least 2 more items. First, uniques. I found a few and you can too next week. The stuff I found, 3 new uniques so far, is definitely build defining and pushing towards a specific build with charges and spark and shock. I'm not gonna spoil any of these items right now, just discover those for yourself. I think that's half the fun. And then see what you come up with to make it work. Second, the music. I've been critical about this in the past, but the music has been progressing towards a more coherent score, and the songs that were all over the place have been removed or significantly adjusted. There are still a few outliers, and I wouldn't say the music is gonna knock anyone off their feet, but at least it's stopped being intrusive and honestly just plain bad. There are some great tracks in there, it is much more a whole, and boss fights even have their own tunes now. I'm confident that if the game keeps heading in this direction, we'll get there. I'm gonna end with something that is not so positive, for me at least. It is the reason why I am already writing this script on a Saturday afternoon with more than 24 hours left in the event. If you've been paying attention, everything I'm describing above is how the game plays and feels, and that has been improved massively. What has not improved, however, because it hasn't changed, and it won't change for at least 0.9, is the endgame and additional content. By which I mean new stuff to do. It's just not there. The endgame is the same as before the patch, and it has been like this for, what, close to 2 years now, right? So yeah, there's that. I'm just telling you this to manage your expectations. If you're bored of endgame, like me, then patch 0.9 is not gonna do much for you. But if you were disappointed before by the performance, graphics, sounds, visual effects, combat feel, animation or atmosphere, you should definitely give it another go. Because the game plays a lot better, like a lot. It's a good foundation I feel to build on. That just hasn't happened and it might take some time. I'll wait and see. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. I appreciate it. See you soon. Love you all. Maybe see you next week and bye bye.